Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel, and in today's video I'm going to be doing an oil and filter change on the Fiesta 1.25 Mark V engine. So the tools you'll need for doing this job is just under 4 litres of 5 watt to 30 oil. You don't have to use the Shell Helix Ultra, that's not recommended by Ford, but that'll do the job just fine. There's a new sump plug. You don't have to use a new sump plug, but personally I do. 13mm socket for the sump plug obviously. There's the new oil filter, which is a genuine Ford one, and there's the part number. I'll put it in the link in the description so you guys know what the part number is. That's for the tool to undo the oil filter. Alternatively, you can use big grips, but I've got the tool so I'll use that, and that goes to the end of that. Now you can also put the car up in the ramps, which I'm going to do, which makes life getting the oil out the bottom of the sump a lot easier. But before I do that, I'm just going to take the car for a drive to make sure the engine is nice and warm. That way it flows out the bottom of the sump a lot easier. But you don't have to do that, it is just a personal preference. Okay, so now the engine is nice and warm. Something I do personally is take off the oil filler cap and take out the dipstick. Just something I normally do. And something else I forgot to tell you is you'll need some sort of bucket or oil catcher to catch about 4 litres of oil. I know it might sound pretty obvious to think what I forgot to say in the intro. So now we want to undo this oil drain plug with the 13mm socket. Might be an idea to put gloves on in case for people who don't want to touch oil. And there we go. So now that's draining, we now want to take off the oil filter. I'm now taking off the oil filter, the socket. As you can see, now is obviously have something that will catch all the oil, like this bucket, which is the wrong size for what I'm doing, but it will do the job. So now the oil has pretty much stopped coming out the filter. Undo it, and a bit more may come out depending on how much you've let it drained out. So let's see. That's it. Try and hold it up, and then splash it into the rest of it into the bucket. Okay, so now all the oil is drained out the filter housing and most of it out the sump plug. As you can see, not much oil coming out there apart from a few drops. So now I just want to clean up all this bit and tidy up just briefly, just to give it a wipe up. Now what we're going to do is get a bit of oil on the bit of the finger and just smear it around the seal of where the new oil filter is going to go onto the housing. Don't over tighten it, just make sure it's done enough so it doesn't feel loose at all, but not too tight. As long as it's tight, that's fine. So now we're going to get the new plug and put it on like so, finger tight, then do it up properly with the 13mm socket. Don't over tighten it, just make sure it's nipped up so it's not too tight. Just have a feel for it. Yep, as long as it's tight, then that's all good. So now the car is off the ramp, I'm now going to put 3.5 litres of oil in the engine. It does need 3.75, but I put in less and then add more if it needs to, just to make sure. And if you are looking for somewhere place to get oil, I'd recommend Euro Car Parts, because as you can see it's quite good. When I got the price, £18.30 for 5 litres. I don't work there at all, I'm not promoting them, I'm just helping you guys out if you're looking to get a lot of oil for a good price. Right, let's do it slow and steady. So now I've put in the correct amount of engine oil, put the dipstick back down again, I took it off at the start and put the oil filter cap back on. And now we're going to run the engine up for about 20 to 30 seconds to get the oil going around the engine. So now I'll switch the engine off and let the engine oil drain down to the bottom. So now check the oil level. I've already checked it, but just to make sure that your engine oil level is at least halfway, I'd advise to have it on the maximum, that way you don't have to worry about topping it up anytime soon. And I wouldn't advise any less than halfway mark. So that is it. Now my little top tip of the day, if you want to get rid of the old engine oil, try and empty this into the container you bought for the empty oil container. That way it's easier to transport to a place to dispose the oil at the right place. So that is it. That's the engine oil change done on the Ford Fiesta Mark V 1.25 Zetec-SE. I hope you guys found this video useful, and thank you for watching.